He was once a feared warrior on the battlefield, fighting side by side with Arthur's father, Uther. In time, age has crept up on Sir Ector, and instead he can now be found providing counsel to Arthur from the comfort of a chair. In his younger years, Ector was a skilled combatant. The deed of Uther and his men would echo round drinking halls. Drunken bards sang tales of their triumph. Late one night, as the song started to fade with the light, Ector would lay his eyes on Elaine, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. With little for Ector to do in a time of peace, they settled down together to start a family. Before long, they were welcoming their son, Kay, into the world. Unfortunately, their quiet life would not last, and Ector was once again called to war. The year went by and the nights grew colder. A fever played through villages, leaving many sick and clawing for life. Elaine tended to the sick, and it would not be long before she became unwell herself. Ector finally returned after a long time of fighting. Only Kay was there to greet him. Struck by grief, he became secluded and didn't fight again. In the dark winter months, Uther was killed in battle. The news of his death spread through the kingdom like wildfire. With no time to grieve for the loss of his friend, and blaming himself for not being there, Ector gathered his belongings and along with Kay disappeared into the night. On his travels he came across Merlin, who had a request for Ector. He was accompanied by a small boy, of around the same age as Kay. It was Merlin's request that Ector look after the boy and raise him as his own. Being a knowledgeable advisor and close friend of Uther, Ector agreed. Living secluded in the forest, he raised his son Kay, along with Arthur, unaware of who he was. On the day of the king's tournament, Ector would discover Arthur's true identity, and swear an oath to serve him as long as they lived. Since that day, he has been at Arthur's side, fighting in wars against rebellious lords and invading forces. He can be found accompanied by his son, Kay, but I will tell you more about him next time.